Okay friends, it's time to get started on our wiper motor. That's going to be located directly underneath your plastic cowl in front of your windshield. To access the wiper motor, we're going to have to remove both of our wiper arms. I'm just going to use a 90-degree pick, and I'm going to carefully get underneath this ear you can see right here. As I'm pulling that away, I'm also going to lift up on the wiper arm so it's straight up, and now I should be able to reach under here and lift this up and away. Be very careful with this because it is under spring tension and it could potentially pinch your fingers. Do the same thing to the passenger side. Now let's get under the hood. If you were to look along the body of the vehicle, you're going to find 4 little push tabs that come down and through. 2 of those are going to be for the right side of the cowl, and the other 2 are for the driver's side. You have to remove the passenger side first. This is going to be easiest using a 90-degree pick. I'm just going to come right in along the top here, carefully get in along where this would be, get underneath the plastic, and then gently lift it up. Now I'll move down to the far end, carefully lift this up as well. Now at this point, you can leave the passenger side like this, or if you wanted to, you could fully remove it so you can clean underneath this area. But I'm just going to leave it like this, and now I'll continue on by removing the driver's side. Now we can lift this up and out of the area. Okay, with that out of the way, you have a nice clear view of your wiper motor. Let's start by removing the wiring for this. To do that, I'm going to carefully use my thumb and I'm going to press on the little tab that's directly in front of it. Squeeze that in and then I should be able to wiggle this off. Every time you disconnect an electrical connector, take a peek. If you see any funny colors, it's probably corrosion and it would need to be dealt with. Now let's continue on by removing our 3 10mm headed bolts. You're going to find one over towards the driver's side, one in the center, and then one all the way over towards the passenger side. You can just lift up that plastic cowl. After we take those out, we'll just pull this right out of the vehicle. Now let's carefully grab onto the unit and remove it from the vehicle. Keep in mind, your windshield's made out of glass and it's very fragile. Alright, these things can feel like they're stuck in here. You just got to work at them a little bit sometimes. Make sure you don't damage that wiring harness as it comes up and out. Let's get this over to the bench. Now with this out on the bench, we're going to continue on by removing the linkage from the motor. You can use several things to do this. I'm just going to continue with my 90-degree pick. We'll carefully get in between here and gently pry. Now let's continue on to this 8mm headed bolt right here and remove this area. It's important to make sure you pay attention to the exact angle that this was in originally. You can see the back side of the motor here, and this pretty much heads in a straight line in the opposite direction. Let's pop that off of there. Now we can continue on to our 3 8mm mounting bolts. There it is, friends. All right, friends, let's prepare our brand new wiper motor. Looking at this, you can tell we're going to have to remove this area right here. Our new part comes with larger bolts. You're going to use a 10mm. We'll remove this, the arm, and then we'll also continue on to these 3 bolts as well. Now let's grab our wiper transmission. Let's lay this down on our bench. We'll take that wiper transmission and we're going to put it right down on over that motor. Line up all 3 of your mounting bolt holes, start them all in, and then snug them up. Let's put on our arm. You want to make sure you have it facing in the proper direction. Go ahead and put in your mounting bolt. Let's apply a little bit of grease to this joint right here. Now we're just going to line this up and latch it in. This part's very important. You need to grab onto this and try to pull it apart as hard as you can. If it falls apart, it's not secured, and you need to make sure that you do. All right, let's go ahead and get this reinstalled. Be very careful for your windshield glass and the wiring harness. Now you want to make sure all of your mounting points are lined up. Put in all of your mounting bolts. Reconnect in your electrical connector. Listen for a little click. Make sure that it's secure. Now it's going to be time to reinstall our plastic cowls. Now for this, you're going to have to find a whole bunch of little push tabs that need to fit down and into the body. Go ahead and line them up with their corresponding holes. Once it seems as though everything's lined up perfectly, you can continue on by pressing it in. Go ahead and close the hood, and now it's going to be time to reinstall our wiper blade arms. You need to pay attention to this part. If you were to lift up on this and look inside, you're going to see that it has a notch that needs to line up with the wiper transmission. Let's go ahead and put this down and on here. We're going to go ahead and twist it until it feels as though it lines up and slides all the way down. Double check to make sure that your clip is in the completely locked in position. Carefully put this down on the windshield, and now do the same to the other side of the vehicle. Okay friends, we have it fully installed. The last thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and put the key in the on position. Test those wiper blades and make sure they function properly. Thank you for watching.